When it comes to building the perfect mass stack, the biggest and baddest stack, this is it, guys. I know we've got the mass stack, then there's the ultimate mass stack, but there's a lot of guys out there that want to take it to the next level, and it's like, well, how do we go about that? So we put together the Pro Series mass stack. And if you are new to the Andros, I really don't recommend this stack for you. I'd advise that you start with the mass stack and then see how that goes, and then graduate to the ultimate mass stack, and then you can get to the Pro Series mass stack, where we essentially combine the biggest and baddest boys of the Andros in terms of mass gaining. And we tie all that in with the alpha to keep estrogen under control and natural testosterone as elevated as possible. And at the forefront of that, you're gonna have your one Andro. Now, before I dive into these ingredients and get too granular, as many of you know that are familiar with the Andros, we have all of the product description videos on each particular product, and you can go in and get granular with the individual product and exactly what it does. So I'm gonna do like a brief overview here and how they complement each other. One Andro being a one testosterone conversion within the body, there's no estrogenic side effects. There's gonna be no estrogen conversion, so it's not gonna upregulate your aromatase enzyme. So this guy, lean, hard gains, strength, feel good, libido, the whole nine, all right? And then we're gonna step off to the 4-Andro here. Now 4-Andro is in the same family as the 1-Andro, but this has an affinity to convert a little bit via aromatase. So you're gonna get a little bit of conversion. So a little bit of water retention, but that's not a bad thing, guys. If you've noticed a lot of bodybuilders, they can tend to get a little poofy. It's the perfect anabolic environment when you got plenty of water, nutrients, carbohydrates, your glycogen levels are great, your aminos are on point. To have enough water retention within the muscle is going to help you grow that muscle much better than if you didn't have a surplus of water. You're gonna get those muscle fibers, those fascias to start stretching apart. So don't ever be fearful of water. This is the Pro Series mass stack. We're looking to put on as much size as possible, right? So this guy, a testosterone precursor as well. And then we're gonna jump over here to the 17A Andro. Now this guy is a boldenone precursor, and a boldenone precursor in the world of anabolics would basically be equipoise. It's going to increase fullness, size, veins and whatnot. It's gonna help oxygenate the blood by increasing the red blood cell count in your body. This guy's gonna increase endurance, recovery, joints, slight bit of estrogen conversion as this as well. Again, don't worry about that estrogen conversion because we've got alpha and we're getting there, and that's gonna control all of that. Then take it over here to the 19 Norandro. Guys, this is a Norandro precursor. This is in the family of Norandros, which is ultimately in the anabolic world DECA. Okay, this is gonna help increase synovial fluid within the joints, fullness, strength. This has no affinity convert to estrogen, so you don't have to worry about that one. Now off to the alpha. Alpha is going to basically, there's a series of ingredients in here, and as I said earlier, if you go to the individual products and you study the videos and you read through the information, you'll see that each one you can get very concise with what they do in particular. Alpha in particular is an anti-E and natural testosterone booster. So while you're running everything, we're gonna keep those estrogen levels in check and keep your natural testosterone healthy, and if not better than it actually ever was. This guy, you're gonna start off with this cycle. So you're gonna be doing 2 a day, follow the directions, right? 2 a day on each. You spread those out, morning and then pre-workout if you're training later in the day. And you're gonna do the alpha once a day while you're on. That is if you're having conversion, if you're having some estrogen. Some of you guys might not have any issues whatsoever with an upregulated aromatase. Aromatase is very user dependent. Everybody responds to testosterone a little bit differently. And that has to do with genetics. It has to do with diet, the amount of fat cells on your body, you name it. It's very complex. So aromatase enzymes are everywhere in the brain, fat, skin, nails, you name it. And so depending on your affinity to aromatize estrogen, this guy is gonna be here to keep all of that in check. And some of you that may aromatize a little bit more than others, you can bump this up to 2. And how you would know that, just how are you feeling? How are you looking? Are you putting on maybe a little bit too much water, and then bump it up to 2 a day on top of the 2 a day that you guys are doing with the Andros. For those of you that maybe are not interested in taking the Andros, the Alpha alone is a fantastic product. If not, I think it's our number 2 seller amongst the entire line. For guys that just take this on its own because of the anti-estrogen effects that it has, natural testosterone boosting effects as well. It's great for cutting, especially if you're trying to get ready for a show. And a lot of people stack this with shredded and the 3-epi, the 7-3, amazing. This is really one of the most good all-around products to have in your arsenal to keep estrogen at bay, keep your natural testosterone nice and healthy. All right, guys. Now to divide this up, you want to split the dosage two times of the day. So upon wakening, right, you're in a catabolic state. This will bring you out of a catabolic state into an anabolic state, and so long as you're eating the proper foods. And if you're training later in the afternoon, I like to take mine pre-workout. So I would always split up my doses by at least 6 hours to keep your blood levels as steady as possible. And as far as the Alpha goes, you can take this, if you're doing the 1 cap, I would just take this, the 1 pre-workout, right? So while you're on the stack, keep in mind, the reason why you stack products, and the reason why you stack products such as these is because in the anabolic world, it is not one thing over the other. It's a combination, it's a cumulative effect. There's a synergy that takes place when you combine 1 Andro, 4 Andro, 17, and 19 here. That is across the board when working with any anabolics. Yes, an individual anabolic will work on its own, but again, the effects of combining them there's a synergistic effect. It's like throwing gasoline on the fire. So you kind of build your stack around the leader of the pack. It'd be like sitting down and have a steak dinner, and you've got your sides, your ancillaries, right? Because a steak dinner is not a steak dinner without some mashed potatoes and maybe some greens. And so you have to have everything to really tie in what it is you're trying to accomplish. And ultimately, like I said, guys, in the beginning, this is the stack to end all mass stacks. It's not going to get any better than this, for what we bring forth in terms of the Andros and overall mass. That is just anabolic specific. Now, if you want to make this stack that much more effective, you obviously need to be on top of your nutrition, and you need to be training your asses off. You have to train, guys. You got to be on top of your calories. You got to be eating 4 meals a day minimum, a sufficient amount of protein, a sufficient amount of carbohydrates, your greens, plenty of water, the whole 9. If you really want to spruce things up, this isn't a part of the stack, but Adiabolic, it's one of the #1 selling products, and there's a very good reason why. It is the best anabolic primer that you could possibly put in your body prior to the workout, during the workout, and post-workout. Pumps are gonna be amazing. This is gonna keep your insulin levels at a healthy amount, and insulin is the most anabolic compound known to mankind. And so with all the nutrients, minerals, aminos, and creatine, this is the most comprehensive product. So to throw this in on top of that, it's a game changer, right? And then there's the new NO7. If you really want to step it up a notch, this is going to increase the nitric oxide levels within your body. Pumps are out of this world. And the more oxygen, the more nutrients flowing, the better the environment for your body to be laying down muscle. And mind you, obviously, when you sleep is when all that muscle, you're working out in the gym, you're training your asses off, you're tearing down those fibers, and while you're sleeping, those fibers are regrowing. So please get plenty of sleep. All right, so PCT, what do we do? After you've run, and I know this video is a bit lengthy and long-winded, I'm sorry, we just need to be as thorough as possible given the amount of products that we're dealing with here. Once you complete these guys at 2 a day per, and you split them up, you're gonna cycle off onto your PCT, which is going to be the Alpha. Now, like again, some of you guys were running the Alpha in conjunction with this to keep estrogen at bay. I recommend it, I myself would do it. Like I said, 1 to 2 caps while on, but then when you have stopped the Andros, you have no more, cycle off onto your PCT full blown, go 2 to 3 caps a day and run it until the bottle's gone. And that is gonna help basically keep your natural levels healthy, solidify those gains that you made, and just wrap in a nice little cycle for yourself that lasted a good, let's see, 6 to 8 weeks. And that should be in a sufficient amount of time to lay down a pretty good amount of muscle, guys. We get guys that call in to do the ultimate mass stack that gain anywhere between 10 to 15 pounds. We've had guys call in and say they combined this stack on their own and gained upwards of 20 pounds. So, and that's within a 4-week window. It's pretty amazing. To touch on the concerns with organ toxicity, there is no organ toxicity with these guys. They are all DHEA precursors, and we utilize liposomal technology. So it's a fat, in short, it's a fat molecule that surrounds the compound. So you have to take a lot less of the compound itself. You get much more impact upon a smaller dose because the body takes that fat and it helps to absorb it a lot easier. It bypasses the liver. There is no liver toxicity with these products, and your body is able to assimilate this and help convert into the testosterones and the boldenons and the norandro that it will be turning into. So guys, with that being said, I know this is a lengthy one, but I wanted to make sure we were as thorough as possible. If you have any questions, of course, don't hesitate to reach out. You can call in, DM us. It's a live chat on the website. Don't hesitate to ask any questions whatsoever. We've got some of the best agents on the phone calls and the live chat to be able to handle the very tough questions in terms of how to do this and how to do it properly. So please don't be shy, reach out. We are here to help you guys. And that's it, guys. There's the Pro Series Mass Stack.